Hello again, everyone. This is Jen from Creative Consciousness in the United States, here to tell you about my experiences from Master 2 Day 4. I know I've been sharing them, the videos, in succession, and it's been off, of course, because the internet when I was there was very slow. So I know this is going to get to you obviously a little bit later, but and I didn't actually. This isn't day 4 right now. I On day 4, just after the training, we drove right back to Amsterdam, which is about a 2.5 hour drive, right around there. And by the time we got there, it was like 9 o'clock, so we pretty much just ate, went to bed, and then the next morning, of course, I had to fly back here. So, and that was a very long day. Ooh, yeah. My flight was at 11:30, and I didn't, that's Amsterdam time, and then I didn't get back here until 9:30 U.S. time, Central. So that was a very long day. Yeah, so I just, didn't make my video for a couple of days. So it's been a couple of days, but it was still, the fire is still there. It was a very, very good last day. To start out, we actually talked about completion, which is something that we really strive for whenever you go into an interaction with someone, is to be complete before you go into that interaction. Because if there are things that you're incomplete about, then your attention is fixed on something other than what you need to be doing, and so you have less mental space available. So, and there's all kinds of things that you can be incomplete about. You can be incomplete, like, for example, for me, there's like a little thing on my screen door at the house that like doesn't quite close right, so like it bothers me. So it's like I know now I need to really fix that. Not that that always takes up space in my mind, but it can be little things like that, little things that you need to do, but you just don't always get to. But it can also be mental things. It could be like maybe you have a conversation with someone and maybe it didn't go the way you wanted it to, or you didn't express yourself the way you wanted to, and so then you have this thing that's in the back of your mind like, oh, I wish I would have said that, or I should have done that. So those can be incompletions. So we talked about how to be complete with those things, and the way we do that is through something that in Creative Consciousness we call the 3C tools. And basically what they are is there's 3 things. Okay, if you have something that you're incomplete about, either you can acknowledge it or something about it. There's something you can acknowledge to be complete about it, or you can let go of it, or you can make a decision about it. And so acknowledging would be, embracing whatever is about it. So maybe in the case of the conversation you had that you're incomplete about, you could acknowledge, okay, I didn't quite express myself the way I wanted to, and, just acknowledge that. So just embracing it, not trying to change it or, whatever. So acknowledging. Letting go would be like dropping attachment. So like in the case of the screen door, I could say, it's there, but I choose to let it go for now, and maybe, you can do something about it later. Or the third one, again, is making decisions. So you say, okay, I'm going to make the decision to go to the hardware store and get whatever I need to fix that screen door, and I'm going to do it by this weekend, So making a decision would be like taking action. So those are the 3 tools, and there's a neat little saying that kind of goes along with it, love it, leave it, or change it. So love it, acknowledge it, leave it, let it go, or change it, which would be make a decision about it, take action. So that was good. And what was really interesting too is that there can be, when we think about incompletions, usually it's about things from the past, like, oh, this relationship that maybe, I left not quite, that I didn't really get closure on, or something like that. But it can also be about things in the future, which at first was like, what? Like, that didn't really make any sense to me. But then I thought about it and I'm like, I have a lot of things that I tell myself that I want to do, I want to accomplish. Like, I want to get better in being fluent with my Spanish, because that's something that I've always really wanted to do, but just haven't ever really done. I want to take certain classes for things. I want to, acquire skills in different areas. And so those can be incompletions, like future incompletions. And again, you can use those 3C tools. What can I either acknowledge about it, let go about it, or make a decision about it? And it was quite funny, actually, because in thinking, about these future incompletions, I started to think about all the things, like I said, that I keep telling myself that I want to accomplish or that I feel I should accomplish. And I started to think about some of the things that I tell myself, oh, I really should do this. And I made a list. I started listing these things. And some of these things like really moved me and like, yes, I want to do this. But then there were some of those things on the list and I'm like, I don't really want to do it. Like I tell myself I should, but I don't really want to. And so I didn't really quite, understand like what to do about that. So I actually raised my hand and one of, the trainer called on me and I said, well, about these future incompletions, I have these, things that I tell myself that I want to do. And some of them I really do want to do, but I realize now that some of them I don't really want to do. So like, what do I do with that? And it was so funny because the 3C tools, right? And she looks at me and she's like, let it go. And then, well, there's a funny joke. They say, stop it, let it go, stop it. Yeah, so it suddenly was like bing, and I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, you're right. So there's all these things, both future and past incompletions, and the 3 tools, either acknowledge it, let it go, or make a decision about it. And it makes a lot of sense, So instead of letting it brew in your mind, either just acknowledge it, accept what is, let it go, drop attachment to it, or make a decision about it, and then it's no longer incomplete. So that was really good. So yeah, and a funny thing. The other thing that really got me excited was we talked about vision and mission, and it's something that I've known that I really needed to flesh out a lot more, especially since Mastery of Success. But I hadn't really quite found what I thought my true vision was, that I really felt passionate about. And they gave us some time to think about it, and then we were supposed to do a short presentation about it. And at first, when I was working on it and thinking about it, I was like, okay, I feel like I'm close, but I just don't have that this is my mission. And so then they said, okay, well, we're going to give you 10 minutes to think about, how you want to present this vision and mission. And I started to panic a little bit, like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like I have it yet. But then I started to just kind of write. And it was so amazing. All of a sudden, it was funny. It was just like something just dropped. And I was like, this is it. And I was so actually moved that as I was writing, there were tears in my eyes. I was so moved because it's all about passion for me. I've always been a very passionate person. I think, most people who know me would agree. But it's all about reigniting that passion. That's why I want to do this. Because I see people every day, that they're just surviving, and you know when you see these people, you see it on their faces, you see it in everything that they do and say. It's like they've completely given up, they've just resigned to this life of so and never questioning and just, going about the day to day. And I was one of those people, I have to admit. But knowing what I know now, I can't let that go on anymore. I can't let that happen. There's so much more to life. And my vision, of course, is just to reignite that passion that I know is in all of us. And it doesn't even matter what it's for. It could be, a passion for animals. It could be a passion for the environment or for your kids or your job or whatever. It doesn't even matter what it is. But it's just reigniting it so that you feel alive again. It's our essence. That's who we are. Our passion is who and what we really are. And so at the end of the presentation, the whole thing was that, you take a stand on your vision and your mission. And my stand was that with every interaction, I want to open a possibility for someone. Yeah. So, well, it was so great. And it just felt, I was just so fired up at the end of that day. So, and I still am. I hope, I hope that you can see that. Yeah, it was great. So I really, really got clear on why I want to do this. And yeah, that felt really, really good. And I feel like just fired up all inside. So it was very good. Excellent last day. And then again, I got to, at the end of the training, of course, it's always wonderful just to, talk to everyone and hug and, share that wonderful experience at the end of the day. So wonderful last day. Yeah, so that was my experience from the last day of Master 2 and kind of the whole in general. I know you'll be getting this a little late, but I hope it inspires you. If it does, certainly feel free to go to my website, Facebook page, Twitter page, anything that moves you. And yeah, I'll be using this channel to probably share more experience as I go, and just kind of let it happen and go with the flow. So, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, through the website, through Facebook, whatever. And I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what your passion is and see if there's a way that I can help you reignite it. So thank you for watching. I will keep you posted on all of my experiences going forward. And yes, much love and passion. Thank you.